You will need a trowel, rubber float, silicone gun, spirit level, tape measure, bucket, hacksaw, drill, plugs and screws, sponge, rubber mallet, and a knife when installing any glass block wall. Personal protective equipment is also recommended, including protective eyewear, gloves, a mask, and long-sleeved clothing. Follow the instructions on the bag of Mortar by mixing 1 litre of water every 5 kilograms of mortar into a bucket with a trowel. Don't use all the mixture, as some will be needed for grouting after. Ensure your opening is to the correct size. Measurements can be found on our rods and mortar calculator. The opening also needs to be level and square. Apply silicone to both jambs and the head. Follow the same process with the expansion strip being held by the silicone. Bed the Mortar on the sill. Break off the spaces into L and T shapes to fit to the opening and sit the block on top. Slide tight against the jamb. Apply mortar to the side of the first block. Lay the next T-shaped spacer and slot the second block in between. Slide the block tight against the spacers. Insert a reinforcement rod vertically in the mortar between the 2 blocks, ensuring the rod is level and straight. Make sure the spacer is clear from the rod and the block. Continue this process across until the first course is finished, ensuring that the mortar fills the joints, spacers are surrounding each block, rods are straight, and the perimeter joint is not filled with mortar. Start the next course with a bed of mortar. Drill holes in the jambs just above the mortar bed and screw the glass block ties into the hole. Span a rod across the top of both ties and cover with another bed of mortar. Sit the next block comfortably on top of the spacer, tapping down to ensure the joint below is filled. Continue for each course thereafter, ensuring each glass block sits level on the spacer and uses the spacer support to hold in place. The rods must remain straight both vertically and horizontally. The glass block ties are used at each course on both jambs, and the perimeter joint is left free from mortar. On the final course, set L and T-shaped spacers on the perimeter and slot the block in. Drill into the head and screw the tie in. Make sure mortar is surrounding the block apart from the perimeter joint, as this is left for expansion purposes. Continue this for each block in the final course. Once all blocks have been laid, allow the wall to dry for 24 hours. Twist off the protruding parts of the spacers and mix the Mortar to the required consistency and apply as a grout to the face with a rubber float, making sure the glass is not scratched and the perimeter joints are not filled. Use a clean sponge to remove the excess grout from the blocks. Leave once again for 24 hours to dry, and finally seal the perimeter with silicone to fully water tighten the wall.